Hi, my name is Tristan and welcome to my very first ever Bake With Me. Today we're going to be baking a beautiful chocolate chip cookie baked with a soft interior and a crunchy exterior. So you're going to want these following ingredients. You're going to want 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cups of softened butter, room temperature, a full cup of lightly packed brown sugar, 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate, 1 egg, a half teaspoon of salt, a full teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So with all the ingredients, you want to make sure they're all at room temperature so they bake at a beautiful consistency. Today we're going to be using a KitchenAid stand mixer. You don't need one if you don't have one, but you can always do it by hand. We're going to want 1 large bowl with a sifter, a spatula, and 2 baking sheets with parchment paper. So we're going to place these aside. The first thing we're going to get started by doing is making sure we have creamed butter. Making sure your butter and sugar are creamed together before you get all of your dry ingredients in is a very crucial part. So you're going to want to start with your 3/4 cups of butter, unsalted. So you're going to enter them in a little bit. It's okay to get a bit messy. Now that we have the butter in, you're going to put your stand mixer on low. Just get it nice and soft. You don't need a whole lot. After that, you're going to want to put in your brown sugar. All of your brown sugar and your white sugar. Place these. So now that these are all in, you're going to want to incorporate them and get them nice and creamed. It's about a medium pace. And you can pick it up. So right now, if your butter is getting attached to your paddle, you're going to want to take it off just by using your spatula and take out all of your ingredients like that. And you're going to need this for later on probably. So you're going to want to get it to the consistency where it's starting to stick to your paddle on your stand mixer, or at least sticking to the sides. It's going to be essentially like a buttered sugar. After that, you can start incorporating to crack an egg properly without getting shells inside. You're going to want to crack it on a flat surface. A lot of people think you crack it on the side of a container. You want to make sure it's on a flat surface so there's no shells that go inside. 1, 2, and you crack the egg inside, and you discard. So now that the egg is inside, you can start incorporating it all. Okay, perfect. It's now at a soft, buttery consistency. Now you're going to take the last of your liquid ingredients, which is the vanilla extract, and you're just going to place it inside as well, and just let that incorporate for a little bit. Now you're going to take your fine meal sifter. Now you're going to place it on top of your bowl, so just over top like so. And you're going to take your flour and all of your dry ingredients and make sure that they're all nice and well incorporated. So just all at once. And then you take your cornstarch. You want to get that. Get it all off the side. Baking soda. And your salt. Now you're going to take the heel of your hand and just tap it along the side and making sure that all of those little parts are just going to get well incorporated together. Now I just took those same dry ingredients and made sure it was just in my large container, and now I can start incorporating it into the batter nice and slowly so it all gets incorporated really well. So just starting out with a quarter. And you want to make sure you're incorporating it very slowly so you don't get a plume of flour. put the last of it in. So you're going to want to scrape the sides before continuing, especially at this last part, to make sure everything is nice and incorporated, taking it off of the paddle. And now we can continue. The last step you're going to want to do is take your semi-sweet chocolate chips and just place them inside. I personally like a lot. And then continue mixing, just on the right. So now that everything is mixed together, you're going to want to take the bowl and the paddle out, just like so. Drop it down, take it out, and just move this to the side. All right, so now that all of your ingredients are incorporated, your stuff is aside, we can now take everything off of the paddle. Now you're going to take your dough and portion it out into 2 tablespoon size. So you're going to want to roll it into, just take a bit in your hand, and you're going to want to roll it into the size of a golf ball. Now you're going to want to place it into the baking sheet about every inch to 2 inches away from the other cookie. And repeat. Short, which means that I used a little too much on a few of them, but that's okay, because it just means that you're gonna have nice big cookies as well. Take all the rest of this to the last one. The last one I find is always the most chocolatey, just because you're trying to use up the rest of the chocolate chips. Now, you can take a bite. So now that we're all done rolling, we can place these into the oven at 350 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. You really don't need a whole lot of time, especially for cookies, because they're going to continue baking once they're out. They look great. So now, as tempting as it is, you want to make sure that all of your cookies are left on the baking sheet to cool. Put it onto a cooling tray. It's going to run the risk of cracking and breaking. So letting it cool on here for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, it's really going to have the best impact, especially with that golden brown bottom, because they're going to continue on baking. And there we go. We have beautiful chocolate chip